Forward. March.
Good morning. Welcome to the Montgomery County Law Enforcement Fallen Officers Memorial Service. I am Darren Frank. I'm the Chief of Patrol for the Montgomery County Department of Police, and I'm honored to host us today. I want to take a second and recognize the dignitaries that have showed up to honor the friends and family of our fallen. Now, it's not about them, so if you can hold your applause till I finish, because I've got quite the list, but they are here for you. First, I want to recognize Chief Mark Yamada, County Executive Mark Elrich, Sheriff Max Wee, the Chief of the Maryland National Capital Park Police, Lakeisha Robinson. We have Father Ray Fecto with us, Pastor Sean Libby. We have Assistant Chiefs Willie Parker Lone, who's wearing his Class A uniform for the very last time. We have Assistant Chief Nick Augustine of the Management Services Bureau, Assistant Chief Dave McBain of the Special Operations Bureau. We change names around here sometimes. I gotta keep up with things. Also with us, we have Chief Sean Eastman of the Gaithersburg Police Department. We have Fire Chief Corey Smedley of the Montgomery County Fire Rescue. We have a number of retired chiefs and assistant chief. First and foremost, that's a Marcus Jones quote. First and foremost, Chief Marcus Jones. We have Chief Tom Manger is here with us. I saw retired Assistant Chief Laura Lanham. I saw retired, Karen Arnold hired me. I saw her out there. You're still brewing that day, huh? I see many members of our MCP Alumni Association. Frank McAtee, Corporal, who started Officer Wellness before Officer Wellness was a thing. I see Jack Nichols with the President of Heroes, Inc. Steve Robbins, I think Steve's here. I was looking around. With the Montgomery County Joint Law Enforcement Memorial, Lee Holland, President of FOP Lodge 35, the Police Foundation, Scott Addison, Scott Redding, Allie Williams, Rich Morzak, and Bob Lynn, of course. We also have a very special guest who's going to be giving us some remarks, Miss Caroline Reynolds, and I think that I've gotten through it, but if not, please, it's not out of ignorance that I missed you, but, I see our Director of Corrections back there. Hello, sir. But anyway, we're all here for you, so round of applause for those folks. All right. So, this special ceremony was started 29 years ago by retired Captain Ed Clark and the late Lieutenant Dan Waring. While the National Law Enforcement Memorial events are very special, they saw a need for our department to honor and support the many friends and families of Montgomery County's fallen heroes. We honor them, thank them, and also we thank Assistant Chief Betsy Davis, who continues to honor their vision by bringing us together with the help of many others here. So thank you to all. And for the most important reason we gather today, I want to welcome the family, friends, co-workers of our fallen officers. This service unites us once again. Those that serve and the families of our fallen come together to remember and celebrate heroes. In unison, we rebuke the terrible negative noise that has been created about our profession. How many jobs do you know where you are expected to run into chaos and lay down your life as others have done before you, rather than swerve from the path of duty? Some of you may not know this because it was a blip in the news cycle, but a little more than a month ago, an armed felon tried to murder 2 of our Montgomery County police officers. We are blessed that they survived without injury, and we are thankful for that. They're actually already back to work. That's their dedication. But unfortunately, looking at the beautiful families and friends in this audience, we know that's not always the outcome. Your loved ones did not swerve from the path of duty, and we honor their sacrifice. At this time, if you are able, I would ask you to please rise as we present the colors by the Montgomery County Law Enforcement Joint Honor Guard and the singing of the national anthem by Police Officer 3 Sarah White and Police Officer 3 John Johnson.
Detail. Halt. Present. Arms.
Uniform personnel. Present. Out.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glow, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order. Order. Arms. Right. Face. Forward. March.
Now that was a beautiful duet. Thank you. If we could remain standing, I want to welcome a longtime member of our chaplaincy program, Father Raymond Fecto, who's going to give us the invocation.
Would you please join me in prayer? Almighty and compassionate God, we gather at this time and this place made sacred by the vigilant prayers and the faithful presence of relatives, friends, and colleagues of our fallen heroes. May we never forget these chaplains and may we never forget these champions of law and order. The names of those we honor today may be etched in stone, but gratitude for their service and their sacrifice is engraved forever in our hearts. Today we humbly pray for each of them, and we pray for each other. With confidence in your compassion, we entrust these martyrs to your care until that hour when we stand before you with them, saints among the saints in the halls of heaven. In your most holy name we pray. Amen.
You may be seated. Thank you, Father Ray. So we have a very lovely memorial, and I got to tell you, it's a real disappointment that we had to bring our event inside today. The weather wasn't cooperating. But this year, it's an even bigger disappointment because we have a very special addition to our memorial. I'll give you the short story. I'll try. A decision was made back in 2014 to close the old police academy and build a new one. The actual event of the closing happened in 2016. So November 2016, we closed the old academy, and at the time, Assistant Chief Luther Reynolds had the helm of the Management Services Bureau. So he was the chief that got to sign the demolition order on the old academy. Ton of history there, named after one of our fallen officers, rightfully so. There was a lot of history there. It had seen a lot of officers go through its hallways. A lot of us in here right now stood in there, trained in there, shot in there, you name it, we did it in there. And part of that history that was in there were the bricks. So these bricks in the main lobby, every day the police officers would show up, the police candidates, and they'd get on those bricks, and they'd be quizzed. Might be a few push-ups, might be a teeny bit of yelling, just a teeny bit. I see you, Ed. It's all right. I'm sure you didn't yell a lot. But at any rate, there's a lot of history on those bricks, and Luther Reynolds had the vision that, you know what, we got to somehow preserve this. So as he was signing the order to demolish the academy, he put in a little clause there that said, hey, you need to salvage as many bricks as you can. So they did. So they took a bunch of bricks on pallets, gave them to Carl Plitt with our Alumni Association, and Carl protected them for a long time. Last year at the memorial, my assistant, Tammy Cheney, was all distraught because people were standing in the mulch. Like, there's got to be something better than standing in the mulch. Then she started talking to Jack Hack. Jack Hack's the alumni president. Those two started talking and melding of the minds, and hey, we got these bricks. Next thing you know, my assistant was running down the road, raising money, meeting with designers, and ultimately planned a beautiful patio that, from Luther's vision of we need to do something, to the Alumni Association, the Police Foundation, and Tammy and others coming together and making that patio a reality. What I would ask is, if you get a chance, go visit it, because it's beautiful. And take a second to walk on that patio where many of us stood training, to now watch over the memorial itself so that we can preserve our history and continue on. So with that, again, I've thanked a number of people, but most importantly, Luther having that vision, I'd like to invite Ms. Caroline Reynolds to the stage, Luther's wife, to say a few words.
Good morning. Yes, this is going to be hard, but we're going to do it. I am not going to be a Luther Reynolds and do 20 minutes. Most of you know what I'm saying up here. I'll be brief, but I did have a few things I did want to share. Luther believed deeply honoring the past while building something meaningful for the future. When the old police academy was torn down, he didn't just see bricks. He saw history. He saw sacrifice and a foundation that shouldn't be forgotten. I had the privilege of seeing this heart behind that vision every day. Luther led with both strength and compassion, and his faith guided the way he lived and served others. He always said, "Leave it better than you found it," and reminded everyone to keep their priorities straight, their faith and their family, and then everything else. His vision was to give those bricks new purpose, to turn them into a memorial for Police Week, a place where we could pause, reflect, and remember the men and women who served and sacrificed. He dedicated his life to this department, Charleston Police Department, and to the people behind the badge. It means more than I can tell you, than I can say to see this vision carried forward. I know he would be deeply honored to be part of something that brings people together in remembrance, respect, and hope. Thank you for continuing his legacy and never forgetting those who gave so much. And a special thank you to you, Tammy Cheney, who reached out to me and shared this amazing tribute and brought this to fruition. The Alumni Association and the Police Foundation, who supported Luther's vision. And of course to you, Darren Frank, who followed footsteps making this department better than you found it. And last but not least, and I'm going to do this without breaking, but I have tissue just in case, I want to thank my husband, Luther Reynolds, who is in heaven watching over all of us, now reunited with those who made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. God bless you all. Thank you.
Again, I hope you make your way out there. The rain's let up. It's beautiful. It's a nice, peaceful area. So thank you again, Tammy, Police Foundation, Police Alumni Association, and Caroline, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to welcome our County Executive, Mark Elrich, to say a few words.
Good morning, everybody, and it's an honor to join you again on this important and solemn occasion. I think I've been doing these for almost 20 years now, so it's a long time coming here to these events, and it's always important for this part of our family to have this event. We gather today during National Police Week to honor the lives and service of those who made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. We honor the fallen heroes who served and protected Montgomery County. Since 1922, 19 county police officers have lost their lives protecting our community. Each name we remember represents a life of service, courage, and commitment. In addition, we honor the fallen members of the Sheriff's Office and Park Police, whose service and sacrifice will not be forgotten. The work of law enforcement is complex and demanding. Officers are expected to protect the public, uphold the law, respect the rights of all, often in challenging and unpredictable situations. And we're fortunate to live in a community with a strong public safety. We do not take it for granted, and the demands of public safety professionals remain high. I know the weight of this work is not easy to carry, and we're committed to supporting you every step of the way. The county remains committed to supporting our public safety professionals with the resources, training, and tools they need to do their jobs safely and effectively. And I just want to especially thank the officers who've pioneered things like the drone program, other things, the massive deployment of cameras in ways we've never done them before, that are helping to make communities safer in Montgomery County and helping make the job of law enforcement easier and finding people early. We're intercepting cars that come into the county that are stolen now because of license plate readers. We're not waiting for somebody to come here and do something. We're identifying them as they enter. So that's a big change in the policing, and it's something that this came out of the department itself to look at ways of being more effective. So I want to acknowledge the work they've done to do that. We're also focused on strengthening our partnerships between law enforcement and the community to build trust and enhance public safety for everyone. I want to take a moment to recognize the families and loved ones who carry this loss every day. I know you endure one of the hardest realities, continuing forward while honoring someone you love and miss deeply. Today is not only about those who we've lost, but also about your strength, your resilience, and the way you keep their memory alive. I wanted you to know that their sacrifice will not be in vain. We honor their lives by continuing the work they believed in and by standing with you today and every day. As we listen to the roll call of fallen heroes, we remember their service and their sacrifice. It's our hope that their names are never forgotten, but also that no new names are ever added. Thank you for all who serve and to those who continue to carry forward their legacy.
Now, we have a change up in the program, and I would like to extend the regrets of the Montgomery County Council. If you've been paying attention, they are hard at work reviewing the county executive's budget. So County Council President Natalie Fanny-Gonzalez was slated to be here, but they've got a lot of work to do. I could make it easier for them. Just make sure you approve everything in the police budget. Nick Augustine and Chief Yamada gave me $5 to say that. It's an easy choice. I know you're going to watch later from home. But anyway, they extend their regrets. So with that, we're going to have some remarks from Montgomery County Department of Police Chief Mark Yamada.
Thank you, Darren. I'm going to make some people nervous, I'm sure, because I'm going to take a minute to go off my script here. We're here to honor all of our fallen, those who have died in the line of duty, but 40 years ago, if you've heard me talk before, I walked through a job fair up in Frederick, and two individuals were manning the recruitment table, Norman Washington and Orly Murray. And retired officer Mickey Fedor sent me a text message last week. Unfortunately, Norman had passed away. And I just wanted to say, if you're watching, Norman, thank you for the efforts you put in to get me to this point. I'll leave it up to you all whether you want to join me in thanking Norman for me being here or blaming Norman for me being here. Yeah, so thank you for joining us today and at all of our upcoming events during Police Week. This is the most solemn week on our law enforcement calendar. Thank you to all of the sworn and professional staff from our department and from our local partners in law enforcement and public safety. Gaithersburg Police, Rockville City Police, Maryland National Capital Park Police, Montgomery County Department of Correction and Rehabilitation, Chevy Chase Village Police Department, the Tacoma Park Police Department, Montgomery County Fire and Rescue, ECC, and our Office of Emergency Management and Homeland Security. Thank you to our public officials who are here that Darren mentioned. We can't thank you enough for all of your continued support and assistance. And a very special thank you to the families and friends and the loved ones of our fallen heroes who are here with us today. We offer our deepest sympathies and condolences to each of you. We began with our candlelight vigil last night, and the remembrances continue with events throughout next week. As we come together and look at the names carved into the wall outside, you begin to realize behind each name is a life, a story, and a family. I think we have three responsibilities. First, we need to take time to honor. We honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice. We thank them for their dedication, their friendship, and the service that they selflessly gave to their families at home, their police families here, and to our communities, the communities that many of them grew up in and where all of them served. We offer them the respect and admiration that they have all earned. Second, we need to take time to grieve. We grieve for the lives cut short way too soon, for the unfulfilled potential, for the work that could not be completed, for time lost, and for memories that were never made. Grief and mourning are okay emotions for today. Third, and perhaps most important, we take time to remember. We remember that their lives represented so much more than the names we read. They represent a legacy of selfless dedication. The names on our roll call of honor were people like us. They were sons and daughters, all with lives outside of work. They had friends and families. They had hobbies. And most certainly, they had dreams. For some of us, the memories are personal. Everyone here today knew one or more of those that we remember. For me, the loss of my friend and shiftmate Jim Walsh brought true meaning to the words that Ed Joyner always reads in our honor code. And it says, "And if need be, lay down my life as others have done before me." Some of those we remember today lived in a different era, but we all hold the same values: honor, integrity, and a true dedication to service. Our overall health and safety are an absolute priority for me. So if we do nothing else, let us pledge to work together, to look out for each other, and to provide the resources and support that everyone in public safety, both sworn and professional staff, need to maintain their overall well-being as we continue to provide the highest quality police services to every member of our community in their honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. When we start our academy, one of the first things we learn is our code of honor. Reading it for the last time before he passes the torch to the next generation, please give a warm welcome to retired Sergeant Edward H. Joyner III to recite the honor code.
Thank you so much, Assistant Chief. Good morning, everybody. Special thank you to retired Assistant Chief Betsy Davis. Love her. I mean, she's called me. I've been doing this since 2002. I wait for her call. It comes around January. She makes sure that one's going to be on time and get everything together, and you can see that everything's together. Thank you, Assistant Chief. There's one other person I would like to give a special thank you, and you heard his name earlier. That is retired Captain Ed Clark, who did this initially with Lieutenant Dan Waring. And in 2002, they asked me to take over, and the department has been graciously kind to invite me back since that time. But for Ed Clark, his inspiration and encouragement was beyond. And I had the opportunity to teach retired Captain Ed Clark, and I want to thank him so much. And I understand that he is going to take over from me, and that'll be great. Ed, thank you so much. It takes a very special person in life to choose law enforcement as a career. A very special person. But when you graduate from training, and we have the most extensive training anywhere, we are a proud, dedicated, professional police department. You are sworn in and you take an oath. And the most important part of that oath is the protection of life and property. Then you recite the code of honor. And as you've heard already, the most important line in the code, and if need be, lay down my life as others have done before me, rather than swerve from the path of duty. That is heavy-duty language. Not many people in this world today has that kind of responsibility. We're very proud, and we come today to honor and praise our fallen officers who wore the uniform with pride and served the community with honor and distinction. Montgomery County has got to be proud of our fallen officers. And today is a strong reminder for the officers in this room who wear the uniform that life is not a given, especially when you wear the uniform. The loved ones and families that are here today are praying for you to come home each and every day because they love Montgomery County Department of Police. Let us all, in our own way, ask the good Lord to ease the pain of our families and loved ones, of our fallen officers, and to give the families and loved ones strength, peace, and courage in their life's journey. Now, I'm going to recite the Code of Honor. You can rest assured I know it by heart, but just in case, because I'm a little excited myself at this point. I love this department. I'm probably one of your most biggest cheerleaders. So I want to get it right myself, but people in this audience know that I know this by heart. I am a Montgomery County police officer, a soldier of the law. To me is entrusted the honor of the department. I must serve honestly, faithfully, and if need be, lay down my life as others have done before me, rather than swerve from the path of duty. It is my duty to obey the law and to enforce it without any consideration of class, color, creed, or condition. It is also my duty to be of service to anyone who may be in danger or distress, and at all times conduct myself that the honor of the department be upheld.
Thank you, Sergeant Joyner. I know Captain Daly would be extraordinarily proud. Now is the time we hear the names of our fallen and reflect on them individually as the bell tolls for them and we light their candle. Reading the roll call of fallen heroes will be Assistant Chief Dave McBain. We will follow the reading with the presentation of the memorial wreath.
Good morning. It's my honor and privilege to present our fallen heroes. Patrolman Joseph A. Case. Motorcycle Patrolman Case died on December 17, 1928, as a result of a motor vehicle collision on Rockville Pike. He was the first Montgomery County police officer to die from a service-related injury. Patrolman Case was 42 years old at the time of his death. Lighting the memorial candle is Patrolman Case's cousin, Ralph Burglas, escorted by Officer Stephen Smirsky. Patrolman Webb S. Hurstberger, Motorcycle Patrolman Hertzberger died on June 18, 1933, from injuries sustained in a traffic collision while on his way to the Bethesda station. Patrolman Hertzberger was 31 years old at the time of his death. Lighting the memorial candle is retired Lieutenant Jennifer McNeil. Patrolman James E. Shoemaker. Patrolman Shoemaker died on February the 4th, 1938, from injuries suffered as he attempted to eject a disorderly woman from a beer hall in Glen Echo. Patrolman Shoemaker was 49 years old at the time of his death. Lighting the memorial candle is FOP Lodge 35 President Lee Holland. Private David G. Bissett. Private Bissett died on October 1st, 1952, from injuries sustained in a traffic collision. Private Bissett was responding to assist fire and rescue at a house fire when the collision occurred. Private Bissett was 55 years old at the time of his death. Lighting the memorial candle is retired Chief J. Thomas Manger. Private Robert W. McAllister. Private McAllister died on November 23, 1952. He was shot by a prisoner he had arrested for reckless and drunken driving. Private McAllister made the arrest on his way to work and was driving the prisoner to the Silver Spring station. Private McAllister was 25 years old at the time of his death. Lighting the memorial candle is retired Assistant Chief Betsy Davis and Assistant Chief Willie Parker Lone. Detective Lieutenant William H. Jesse. Detective Lieutenant William H. Jesse died on December 30th, 1964, after a high-speed pursuit of a stolen vehicle. Lieutenant Jesse was 43 years old at the time of his death. Lighting the memorial candle is Karen Arnold, a family friend. Detective Lieutenant Donald A. Robertson. Detective Lieutenant Robertson died on March 9, 1972. He was shot by an armed robbery suspect who was hiding in the trunk of a vehicle which was parked inside the Silver Spring Police Station garage. Lieutenant Robertson was searching the car when he was shot by the suspect. Lieutenant Robertson was 35 years old at the time of his death. Lighting the memorial candles, Lieutenant Robertson's son and daughter-in-law, Donald and Marcia Acker. Lieutenant Robertson's daughter, Jennifer Klarman, and Lieutenant Robertson's granddaughter, Erin Klarman. Escorted by retired Sergeant Robert Lumsden and Lieutenant Robertson's niece, retired Officer Karen Arnold. Private William P. Conboy, Jr. Private Conboy died on December 29, 1973. He was shot during an undercover drug operation at the Silver Spring Holiday Inn. His partner, Sergeant James Elkins, was also shot but survived the attack. Private Conboy was 25 years old at the time of his death. Lighting the memorial candle is Private Conboy's sister-in-law, Susan Preston, escorted by retired Officer Chris Pullman, Captain James E. Daly, Jr. Captain Daly died on March 28, 1976. He was shot when he responded to assist Corporal John Franzak in stopping a vehicle suspected of being involved in an armed bank robbery at the Potomac Bank. Captain Daly was 43 years old at the time of his death. Lighting the memorial candle is retired Sergeant Edward H. Joyner III, Sergeant Joyner's wife, Beth, and their daughter, Kim Finch, escorted by Officer Stephen Smugurski. Smugs. Corporal John M. Franzak. Corporal Franzak died on March 29, 1976. Corporal Franzak spotted a vehicle that matched the description of the suspect vehicle in the armed robbery of Potomac Citizens Savings and Loan Bank. Corporal Franzak was shot after pursuit of the car in a field behind Montgomery Mall. Captain James Daly backed him up and was found shot along with Corporal Franzak. Corporal Franzak was 32 years old at the time of his death. Lighting the memorial candle is Corporal Franzak's shipmate, retired Corporal Ron Wilson, and retired Officer Kim Wilson, Corporal Wilson's daughter. Officer Philip Carl Metz. Officer Metz died on March 27, 1981. Officer Metz was dispatched to the W. Bell and Company store in Silver Spring to assist an alarm company representative in checking the interior of the building. While checking the store, Officer Metz was confronted by a gunman who shot him. A second gunman shot the alarm company representative and the assistant store manager. Officer Metz was 33 years old at the time of his death. Lighting the memorial candle is Officer Metz's shiftmate, retired Sergeant Jack Carnahan, escorted by retired Corporal Frank McAtee, Officer Metz's shiftmate and founder of the Montgomery County Peer Support Program. Canine Blitz. Montgomery County Police Canine Blitz died on March 8, 1985. Canine Blitz was shot and killed while apprehending an armed residential robbery suspect in Bethesda. Canine Blitz, a Rottweiler, was known as a gentle giant. Many officers on the scene said that Canine Blitz took the bullet intended for his partner, Sergeant McGrogan. The suspect was shot and killed by officers. Canine Blitz is the only Montgomery County canine killed in the line of duty. Lighting the memorial candle is retired canine officer John Bennix, a shipmate. Officer Mark M. Filer. Officer Filer died on August 24, 1993, 1 week after a motor vehicle collision left him in critical condition. Officer Filer had been on his way to work from home when his cruiser was struck head-on by a pickup truck. Officer Filer was 31 years old at the time of his death. Lighting the memorial candle is Officer Filer's daughter, Colleen Gregory, escorted by retired Sergeant Suzanne Beam, Officer Filer's shipmate. Officer James E. Walsh. Officer Walsh died on January 25, 1994, in a one-car motor vehicle collision. Officer Walsh was responding to assist another officer in pursuit of a stolen vehicle. Officer Walsh was 30 years old at the time of his death. Lighting the memorial candle is Officer Walsh's wife, Carol Walsh Berry, escorted by retired Captain Edward Clark and retired Officer Tom Dolan, his shipmate, as well as Father Ray. Captain Joseph A. Mattingly, Jr. Captain Mattingly died on September 13, 2003, in a one-car motor vehicle collision. Captain Mattingly was working as the duty commander that evening and left the Bethesda station after making a DWI arrest. He was heading back to police headquarters when he was involved in a traffic collision. Captain Mattingly was 51 years old at the time of his death. Lighting the memorial candle is Captain Mattingly's wife, Liz Mattingly, Captain Mattingly's son-in-law, Officer Craig Fisher, and Captain Mattingly's siblings, escorted by Commander Brian Dillman. Officer Luke T. Hoffman. Officer Hoffman died on April 25, 2007, after a vehicle collision. Officer Hoffman was working the midnight shift and was in foot pursuit of a suspect drunk driver when he was struck and killed. Officer Hoffman was 24 years old at the time of his death. Lighting the memorial candle is Officer Hoffman's classmates, Officer Chris Day and Corporal Mark Finelli. Sergeant Hector I. Ayala. Sergeant Ayala died on April 4, 2010, in a one-car motor vehicle collision. Sergeant Ayala was working the midnight shift and was responding to assist other officers at a large disturbance call when he was involved in a traffic collision. Sergeant Ayala was 31 years old at the time of his death. Lighting the memorial candle is Sergeant Phil Meyer, a shipmate. Officer William D. Bill Talbert. Officer Talbert died on January 27, 2012, after a work-related illness. Officer Talbert died as a result of contracting hepatitis C. Officer Talbot contracted the disease following a blood transfusion after being injured by a drunk driver on June 30, 1983. He was standing between his patrol car and another vehicle when a drunk driver, one of the vehicles, causing Officer Talbot to be pinned between them. He was transported to a local hospital where he underwent a blood transfusion. It was discovered later that the blood he received was infected with hepatitis C. Officer Talbot was forced to medically retire in 1984, and his health continued to decline until he passed away on January 27, 2012. Lighting the memorial candle is retired Sergeant Paul Sterling, a co-worker, and retired Officer Barbara Natoli. Officer Noah A. Liotta. Officer Liotta died on December 10, 2015, 1 week after a motor vehicle collision left him in critical condition. Officer Liotta was conducting a traffic stop on Rockville Pike while working the Holiday Alcohol Task Force. While returning to his patrol car, he was struck by a drunk driver. Officer Liotta was 24 years old at the time of his death. Lighting the memorial candle is Officer Liotta's parents, Rich and Marcy, Noah's brother-in-law, Will Maslin, and Noah's nephew, Carter, escorted by Officer Tara Bond and Lieutenant Jeff Innocini. Officer Kyle Ollinger. Officer Ollinger died on April 18, 2019, 16 years after he was shot during a traffic stop of a suspicious vehicle. Officer Ollinger was shot in the neck by one of the occupants and paralyzed from the chest down. Due to his injuries, Officer Ollinger retired on service-connected disability on September 9, 2007. As a result of the injuries sustained in the line of duty, he passed away on April 18, 2019. Officer Ollinger was 53 years old at the time of his death. Lighting the memorial candle is Officer Ollinger's wife, Jenna Ollinger, and Kyle's father-in-law, David Graves, escorted by Lieutenant Rod Cox and retired Officer Rose Borso. Captain James T. Hall, Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. Captain Hall died on October 26, 1971. He was shot and killed by gunfire while attempting to arrest 2 burglary suspects. Captain Hall was 53 years old and a 10-year veteran of the Sheriff's Office at the time of his death. Lighting the memorial candle is Captain Hall's daughter, Carolyn Filio, her husband, retired Officer Bob Filio, Captain Hall's granddaughter, Carrie Crutcher, and her husband, Ken Crutcher, escorted by Chief Deputy Bob Lehman, Detective Corporal Lisa Killen, and Detective Katie Leggett. Officer Kristen M. Pataki, Maryland National Capital Park Police, Montgomery County Division. Officer Pataki died on May 4th, 2002 in a 1-car motor vehicle collision. Officer Pataki was responding to a fellow officer's call for backup when her vehicle slid off the rain-slickened Clarksburg Road and broadsided a tree. Officer Pataki was 24 years old at the time of her death. Lighting the memorial candle is Officer Pataki's classmate, retired Detective Corporal Gregory Warzy, escorted by Captain Bryson Evans.
Lieutenant Donald Robertson was killed in 1972. In a moment of reflection, retired Captain Douglas L. McPhee Sr., penned a poem, "Our Brother Is Gone," to be read at his funeral. As part of our tradition, today we will hear those words again, read by Donald Acker, son of Lieutenant Donald A. Robertson.
Today is the day my brother was laid to rest. Today, at the service, many of my other brothers were present. We gather of late much too often like this, these brothers of mine and I. Today, the rows and rows of blue, of green and gray, the rows of brothers, each of us with a saddened heart, a lump in our throats, and no matter how hard we try to keep it from showing, each of us with tears in our eyes. Because today my brother was laid to rest, and today we feel once again the loss of someone whom we could be proud, to whom we could relate, someone who cared, who understood, who loved and was loved. We shall miss our brother, but we, unlike many, will not let the passing of time cause us to forget him. We, unlike many, do not forget, because today when my brother was laid to rest, so also was a part of each of us. Words can be written and songs can be sung, but there is no way that the deep personal sense of loss, the sincere caring, the ability to relate and truly feel the loss of a brother can accurately be expressed. My brothers have come today from close and far. My brothers have come today because they want to be here, because they feel the same deep emotional loss that I feel. No fraternal order of men can feel more genuine concern or emotion for a brother and his family than these brothers of mine. Today, when my brother was laid to rest, I was sad and yet proud. Sad and moved by the loss of a brother. Sad and feeling for his family and friends, but proud of him for his chosen career and proud to be a member of the Brotherhood of Police. Tomorrow, there will be other brothers of mine laid to rest. Tomorrow, there will be other widows and children to mourn their loved one. And I and my brothers know that we also will be there to mourn or perhaps be mourned. This we can accept because it is the Lord who controls the destiny of my brother and me.
Now, if you are able, I would ask you to please rise for the rendering of honors to our fallen heroes.
Detail. Halt. Present. Arms.
Uniform personnel. Attention! Present. Out!
Please welcome Pastor Sean Libby for our benediction.
Join me in prayer. Charge us today, O Lord, to leave here with a renewed and increased devotion to the cause for which those memorialized here today have given their life for. Lord, surround us with courage to face and to conquer, and courage to take us where others will not go. Heavenly Father, we ask for your strength of body and strength of spirit. Help us, Lord, in our continued dedication to our family and friends, our co-workers, and our community. And Lord, give us ultimate concern for those who trust us, compassion for those who need us. And Lord, we depend upon you being at our side through it all. We thank you for your grace. We thank you for your strength. And we ask for your continued peace. Amen.
You may be seated. A special event like this takes a lot of planning, and I wanted to thank a few people before we conclude. Assistant Chief Betsy Davis, fantastic job as always. Thank you, Betsy. Assisting her, Lieutenant Tanisha Bellamy, Lieutenant Jeff Innocenti, Officer Stephen Smugareski. EAA, Tammy Cheney, retired Sergeant Suzanne Beam, and she asked me, please remember for the family, there's a lovely candle that she put together, so if your candle that you lit, you can take that home with you. So please feel free to come on up. She'll help you gather that after we conclude here. The Fallen Officers Planning Committee, the Peer Support Team, OSC Tessa Combs, our police explorers and cadets, hopefully the next police officers carrying on this tradition. Captain Dave Reed and the Joint Honor Guard, the Police Foundation, and of course the Montgomery County Police Alumni Association for their generous support by always providing the funding for the reception that will follow, which again I remind you of our friends and family of the reception upstairs. Some final thoughts for you about the impact of what you all go through. So Easter was a nice holiday for my family through the years. We had our own little traditions, but I struggle now because back in 2010, I got a terrible phone call. I get a pit in my stomach every year because I got this terrible call from a sergeant who was distraught that Hector had been in a terrible accident. So every year now, I have that feeling to deal with and the things that came out of that. But even though that feeling will be with me for the rest of my life, it pales in comparison to what you families have gone through and will continue to go through because of the sacrifice of your loved ones. I want you to know on behalf of the men and women of Montgomery County law enforcement, the residents of this county, we will remember. We will not let time or noise forget your fallen heroes. We will not forget you, the beautiful families that we are here today to honor. The sacrifice of these peacemakers and their families will never be forgotten. I thank you for coming today. Please, let's be careful out there. Captain Reed, you may dismiss the honor guard.
Honor guard, dismiss!
Thank you.